The Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idi-Araba, has performed the groundbreaking ceremony of its new dialysis centre. The centre, which will be located behind the institution's administrative block, is to be built at an estimated cost of 250 million naira and is set to be completed in the next 6 months. Our correspondent, Mary Alale Yusuf, reports.
Members of the hospital community, sponsors and well-wishers here to witness the foundation laying ceremony of the proposed dialysis center. This is not the first time that this type of structure is being built in Louth.
Louth started renal dialysis in West Africa, hemodialysis in 1984. And when that center was really working, we were treating hundreds, over 600 patients in a month. Many patients survived because of that center. But over time, with paucity of funding, inconsistency of how things were run, it ran down until it couldn't, all our patients egressed, they went outside.
Guests proceed to the proposed new site for the foundation laying ceremony. The Chief Medical Director hastens to reassure those present that the new center will not go the way of the old.
Sheer volume of people that come drives down the cost, and the PPP partners are already waiting. They will run it, supply the equipment, supply the consumables. Patients will just buy the consumables and receive treatment here morning, afternoon and night.
Many in hospital circles have complained of attempts at privatization of government-owned facilities because of loss of jobs. But it has also been argued that the government cannot bear the burden of social welfare on its own. It looks, however, like facilities in the recently commissioned cancer center are not in use. But authorities promise it will be operational by May 1st, 2019, after some protocols have been put in place. Mary Alale Yusuf, Channels Television News.
One of the country's financial services provider, First City Monument Bank, has taken a huge leap to meet the needs of low-income earners and the unbanked segments of the society. FCMB says that will be FCMB Easy account. The latest addition to the banking industry uses the telephone numbers of the customers without the first digit to serve as their account numbers.
An account number is one of the primary identifier for ownership of an account, which is why having unique digits that can easily be memorized is key. To solve this problem, First City Monument Bank takes a major leap through the launch of its new product called FCMB Easy Account. But how does it work?
If I want to tell you my account number, as long as you know my phone number, all you need to do is to take out the 40. If I have an FCMB account, you can send money to me, I can send money to you. And I can do business with you by dialing *329#. When they do that, they become included in the financial system.
FCMB Easy Account is a new innovation that has come from FCMB to make accounts and banking transactions very easy for them. In FCMB, we keep on innovating to bring convenience to our customers.
With about 2 years left to achieve the CBN's target of 80% financial inclusion in Nigeria, the financial regulator commends the initiative by the commercial bank.
When you're involved in banking service, you should be able to carry on business very well. And when you carry on because you have access to credit, and when you do that, you deepen finance, you deepen aggregate demand in the society, and everything in Nigeria should be able to go better. When you have something doing and I have something doing, it will be difficult for any of us to derail.
The bank's program also receives royal blessings.
We are going to partner with them and mobilize our people to key into the arrangement, because the world is now a global village, and the essence of it is that if we can communicate with anybody anywhere, opening an account, transacting shouldn't be a problem.
The FCMB Easy Account is designed to make banking accessible to all Nigerians and is expected to help reach the goal of financial inclusion for all.
President Muhammadu Buhari has given the assurance that the federal government remains committed to sanitizing the rot within the pension system, as well as ensure that hard-working Nigerians live in dignity and retire without fear. The president, who gave this assurance during the launch of a micro-pension plan at the State House, encouraged traders, unions, non-governmental organizations and other stakeholders in the informal sector of the economy to work with the government and enlighten others on the benefits of the micro-pension plan. Our correspondent, Gloria Omezueke, reports.
The Permanent Secretary and my brother DG.
Gathered here are officials of the different agencies under the Ministry of Environment. They're here before the House Committee on Environment to defend their 2018 budget and make a case for the
It's a major national assignment for President Muhammadu Buhari, who arrives for the official launch of a micro-pension plan. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, is looking to sanitize the rot in the pension system once and for all.
I want to assure all Nigerians that this government remains committed to resolving all pension issues on pension payment in the federal public sector, despite the lean resources of the government. The dignity of retired public servants who sacrifice their lives for this country will be restored. We will ensure all hardworking Nigerians in the private sector, both formal and informal, can retire without fear. We have already started on this journey. We must all come together to ensure these reforms are fully implemented and their positive impact is felt by the rightful beneficiaries.
Your Excellency. This contributory pension scheme, according to the Director General of the National Pension Commission, would not only enlist the informal sector into the pension savings net, but boost the savings culture in Nigeria.
Now, how does this account operate? Every contribution that is made is going to be split into two. That is why you see that banner 60-40. The first one is going to be 40% for contingent withdrawal, and then 60% will be for retirement benefits. Withdrawal begins 3 months after the first deposit.
The micro-pension plan is a welcome development for the unions who demand something extra.
The new pension scheme covers just about 7.8 million workers, and we have potential workforce of 80 million. So we are talking of a pool of workers. And some of our members who contribute under these schemes, of course, is great. They are getting paid as and when due, but I think we should also consider what they are being paid. And that's why we support the position of Nigeria Labour Congress that we should not just be fighting for minimum wage, we should also fight for minimum pension.
It's not just a launch for the federal government, but a task to ensure the reforms are implemented and would reach the target beneficiaries.
Well, the good news is that this contributory pension plan is all-inclusive, and this is one way the federal government will help lift millions of hard-working Nigerians out of poverty in the nearest future. From the presidential villa, Gloria Omezueke, Channels Television News.
Well, it's time now for business news on the news at 10 with Kayode Okikiolu.
You first. First Bank.
Many thanks, Kimba. You're welcome to Business News. The Independence building in Lagos State is to be concessioned soon under a build, operate and transfer agreement so the 25-story structure can be put to good use. Well, this is coming from the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission as a team from the agency visited the dilapidated building on Lagos Island. 3 companies have emerged after a pre-qualification exercise.
This is the Independence House on Lagos Island, a 25-story building which stands at 300 feet. This long-time edifice is located in the heart of Lagos, Nigeria's economic capital. The project was commissioned by the British government as a testimonial to Nigeria's independence in 1960 and was used later as a defense headquarters under the Babangida administration. In 1993, parts of the building caught fire, and since that incident, the building has been left largely dilapidated. Now, a team from the Infrastructure Concession and Regulatory Agency is here for what's called a monitoring visit. With a land area of about 8,000 square meters and a large separate parking provision of 2,650 square meters, the 25-story structure is about to be concessioned as the federal government believes the imposing structure can yield economic value.
The intention of government is to concession this asset for it to become the national trade and international business center, a world trade center that will drive value. Opposite there, have a high-rise, car park with a skywalk, restaurants and everything. So that's the aim of government. So what we have come here to do is to understand what are the challenges with that transaction and what regulatory intervention is required to reap the full. This is very important. This asset is important to the government of Nigeria.
The Infrastructure Bank is a transaction advisor, and 3 companies have scaled the pre-qualification stage.
3 companies have emerged, and they are going to go on to the next phase, of sending their proposals and all. Once the RFP documents are ready, it will be sent to them, and then they will send their proposals exactly, what they want to do, what they want to achieve, what is going to cost, and all that.
The federal government is optimistic that when the facility becomes operational, it will create jobs for Nigerians as well as provide taxes for the government.
And the lukewarm sentiment by investors in Thursday's trading session at the Nigerian stock market left the all-share index up by 0.01%. However, the headline index was still below the 31,000 level. Teniola Shobowale has the report.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. It would seem like investors are looking for incentives to energize strong trading at the equities, even as the month of March comes to an end. The lukewarm sentiments in Thursday's trading session left the all-share index up by 0.01%. However, the headline index was still below the 31,000 level. Unusual trading of 1.70 billion shares of Wema Bank made the lender lead on the list of top trades. As a result, volume of shares traded for the day was significantly higher at 1.91 billion, worth almost 3 billion naira in 2,807 deals. Looking at the sectorial chart, only the banking sector closed in the green, up 0.36%. The industrial goods counter was down 1.35%, while oil and gas shared 0.13%. And that's it on the Stock Market Report. I'm Teniola Shobowale.
Thank you, Teniola. European shares traded slightly higher today as growth fears offset substantial gains on trade development, while investors are also monitoring news of progress in U.S.-Sino trade negotiations. Well, let's check out the other numbers coming from the global markets. And that's a wrap on Business News for tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Kayode Okikiolu. It's back to you, Gimba.
You first. First Bank.
Still ahead on the news at 10, British lawmakers prepare for another round of voting in Prime Minister May's Brexit plan on Friday. Join us again.